Hello, this is Thomas Wells, founder and CEO of The Body Mechanic, and I wanted to do a little demonstration today on how to use a foam roller. You guys have all seen these. Many of you might be using them. Usually you see kind of the long ones, usually about 36 inches long and about 6 inches wide, solid foam core. I'm going to use a hollow one. Doesn't really make a difference for what I'm demonstrating here. So first I want to talk a little bit about what you're trying to accomplish when you do foam rolling, because the way most people do it is not going to achieve what they're trying to achieve. So there's two primary things that we're doing with foam rolling. One is a benefit for the connective tissue, for the fascia. Okay, and that's going to be kind of a slow wringing out of the fascia, extruding some of that depleted tissue fluid and allowing it to refresh with fresh, energized tissue fluid. Healthy tissue fluid, and that tends to create a relaxation effect for the nervous system, so the connective tissue and the muscles tend to get a certain amount of relaxation from that. Then there's more of a muscular benefit, and you have to use a different technique for that. And with the muscular benefits, you can get really tight contracted areas to let go. It's usually a temporary effect, but it can be a great part of warm-ups. You can get those muscles to let go, and that requires a slightly different technique. These two techniques can be run side by side and done at the same time, so you can get both sets of benefits, or you can do one or the other. It's up to you. So I'm going to basically pick one foam roll technique here to start with, just to demonstrate for, and I'll use the quadriceps for that, so the fronts of the thigh. So to do this one, you're going to be face down on the roller, and you're going to put all your weight. So I lay kind of one leg on, one leg off. So most of my weight's on this right side. And the movement is just working my way down the thigh like that. But I'm not just going to race my way down to the bottom. I'm not going to just massage back and forth, because that's going to be no different than just rubbing it with your hand. Part of the key here is the speed. So if I want those fascial benefits as I'm rolling, I need to roll very slowly. And when I talk about slowly, I'm talking about 2 millimeters a second. So we're talking very slow. That tends to create the optimal connective tissue response when you do that really slowly. And generally speaking, you're going to want to roll whatever direction you want the tissue to lengthen. So generally we're lengthening kind of towards the distal attachments here. So for the quadricep here, we're going to lengthen down towards the knee. I don't recommend rolling back up the other way, just because you're not going to get as much. While that still offers the same fascial benefit, it's not going to create the same relaxation of the muscles and the same mobility increase as if you roll proximal to distal, or in this case, from high to low. Okay, and then for the muscular benefit, that's going to be a little different. The muscular benefit isn't going to be a continuous rolling. It's actually going to be a static hold. So as you're rolling, you're probably going to notice, and you've noticed this if you've done rolling before, that you often come across some pretty tender areas. So when you come across one of those areas that feels really tender, you just want to hold the pressure on that. So you aren't going to just roll through it. You're going to hold there and wait. And within anywhere from 10 to 20 seconds, you should feel a relaxation occur. It won't be complete. You won't feel it just totally let go, but you should just feel it at least let go some. That will let you know your body has responded to the pressure, and it's adapting to the pressure, and it's creating that relaxation effect as an adaptation. And over time, the muscles become less sensitized to the stretch, and you'll notice there's less tenderness, and the tenderness you do find alleviates faster when you roll, so you can actually progress doing the rolling. So again, you can roll very slowly from spot to spot, and once you find a spot, you hold that and you wait. You wait as long as it takes. If you find it's taking more than about 30 seconds to get that relaxation, you're probably putting too much pressure on it. You're just too sensitive and your body can't relax into it. Because the harder you go in, the harder your body's going to fight you. We're kind of trying to circumvent our body's natural defenses against overstretching here, so you have to be kind of easy about it as you go. Okay, so to demonstrate this again, so one leg on, one leg off, and you're just kind of bridged up like this. you're going to keep this leg nice and relaxed. One of the common mistakes people make is they kind of tighten up their muscle as they roll, so the roller can never really sink into the tissue. So you don't get the same depth of release as you do if you manage to just relax the leg and let it be soft. And you work your way down, then you wait till you feel a sore spot. Once you feel a sore spot, you just hold that, keeping your body nice and relaxed. Once it relaxes, that very slow, about 2 millimeters a second, roll until you reach the next sore spot. Usually you're not going to have to hunt far. The sore areas tend to be kind of all in a line with each other. You just do that till you reach the end, in this case just above the patella, and you don't have to go back up. You don't even have to restart at the top. You just consider yourself done with that. You can come back and roll it another time later in the day or another day. You can apply that same basic protocol to any part of the body you might be rolling with. Foam rollers are really good for the fronts and sides of the leg. They're really good for like the upper back, like the lat area, but they're not particularly good for the mid-back in terms of the musculature there. They're good for the T-spine. In fact, I made another video about that. Smaller implements tend to be better for that, like tennis balls or lacrosse balls. I use tough balls, which are actually a dog toy that looks like a tennis ball. That works really well for that. A lot of it just has to do with the shape and size of the implement based on the anatomical kind of topography in that area and how well it fits. So this is good for wide open areas. A lot of people use it for the calves. I'm not particularly fond of using the foam roller for the calves. It's just too hard to get the pressure you need on it. And the position you have to get in to do the rolling is really so much work that you can't really get your body to relax into it. So I tend to favor actually using a barbell. That sounds gruesome if you've ever rolled your calves, but it's actually a lot easier because you can get the same amount of pressure with a fifth of the effort. So you can actually relax into it much more easily. That's for another video for another time. So again, the basic concepts here: roll the direction you want to lengthen, very slow pace till you find a sore spot. Hold that sore spot until it relaxes. If it doesn't relax inside 30 seconds, you probably need to lighten the load. So change your body position, use a softer roller, roll on a softer surface, all of those things, or use your body to take pressure off the roller so that you can get it to relax within that 15 to 30 second window there. This does offer a lot of benefits. They tend to be fleeting, so they might last only a matter of hours. But this is great for warm-up. This is great if you're doing it regularly. You can progressively improve your flexibility. It just requires that you do it probably a couple times a day. But it's particularly great for warm-up. Static stretching is not great for warm-up. That's your traditional, hold a position, wait for it to relax. That tends to create kind of an inhibition and a weakening of the muscles that doesn't help you in your performance in the gym. This doesn't create that same response. So this is one of my preferred kind of warm-up type stretches, is this rolling. Collectively, they call it self-myofascial release. So it's not necessarily a roller. It could be a tennis ball, could be the stick roller, could be any number of different ways, but it still falls under the heading of self-myofascial release. So feel free to kind of look on the web for other techniques using rollers and balls and things like that. But I recommend using this basic approach here because I think you'll find it more productive than what many of you have been doing. So try it out. I hope it works for you.